Welcome to Design and Analysis of Algorithms class. Today we are going to start our fifth unit. Under fifth unit you have two modules, backtracking and branch and bound. And today you are going to start your first module, which is backtracking. Today we are going to deal with what is meant by backtracking and also what are the different applications of backtracking, followed by how we are applying backtracking, the algorithm or control abstraction of backtracking we are going to know in today's lecture. And the main objective of today's lecture is the students are able to understand the concept of backtracking, and also they could able to apply the backtracking on a given problem instance once they know this lecture. Now what is meant by backtracking? Basically, backtracking is a methodological or logical way of trying out various sequences of decisions that in which decision or in which path it is yielding us the solution. So here we are going to try for the path where I'm getting the solution node or the answer node for the given problem instance. For suppose if I am not getting the solution node when I am going in that path, then immediately it will changes the path. And it will takes another step or another path to reach the solution, like your chess game. In your chess game, what you'll do, for suppose given one step, so you'll think about the opponent's step, and basing on that step you're taking your step. For suppose you have taken the next step also, and basing on that you might expect the next step of your opponent. And for suppose if the opponent have not taken that step, then immediately you will go with another path and you will take another decision, and in that path you are giving your next token, right, or your next step. So in the same manner here, whenever I'm not getting the solution in that path, then simply I'm taking another decision or another path to get my answer, right? So now there are different applications of backtracking. So what are the different applications? So there are real-time applications also. So one of the real-time application is maze. So in the figure itself I'm showing you the maze application. So here I'll be having start as well as the end, right? So here you need to start from the corresponding path which I have shown you, right? From there to go for different rooms. So from those rooms you are going to go through all those rooms, or in which path you will be getting your destination, right? So here further, for suppose if there is an obstacle you got in the room while entering, so at that particular place you'll come back from that room, and again you are going through another room to reach your destination. So here what you are doing, whenever an obstacle or any closing of your room you find out, so in that case simply you are coming back, is nothing but you're backtracking. You're coming back and you're taking a new decision to find your or to reach your solution. So this is a classical example of backtracking, which is maze. And there are some more applications also in your computer science. The applications are n-queens problem and sum of subsets problem, and graph coloring or M coloring problem, and Hamiltonian cycle. So all these problems can be solved with the help of backtracking. And in our course or in our syllabus, we are going to cover the first two applications, which are sum of subsets and n-queens problem. Now graph coloring and Hamiltonian can also be solved with the help of backtracking. If you want to go through even those two applications, you can go through your prescribed textbook. Now, while solving any problem using backtracking, there are certain constraints or rules to be followed. There are two types of constraints. First one is explicit constraint and the other one is implicit constraints. So now explicit constraints. What is meant by explicit? Explicit means the rules which are applied externally and the rules that restrict each xi, here each xi to take on values only from the given set. For suppose xi is equal to either 0 or 1. You have seen your knapsack problem, right? In your knapsack problem, we are depicting our solution in terms of zeros and ones, right? So here I am giving xi value as 0 or 1. So within these two only I need to mention my solution, right? So here what is the resultant set? Resultant set will be Si is equal to 0 comma 1. Now likewise I need to mention the explicit constraints. Now coming to the implicit constraints. Implicit constraints are the rules that determine which of the tuples in the solution space I satisfies the criterion function. So given some criterion function, for suppose in your knapsack problem, maximize summation pi xi, that is your criterion function. So and subjected to summation wi xi should be less than or equal to m. So here you need to specify the corresponding rules in such a manner that whatever the tuples we are depicting, the tuples should meet our criterion function. So those are all come under implicit constraints. Implicit means internally we are checking those such that those tuples should maintain our criterion function, should meet our criterion function. Coming to the backtracking algorithm, control abstraction or algorithm. So here we are going to represent our solution in terms of a state space tree, which is T of x1, x2 and so on xk, right? Here this is my solution state space tree. So T of x1, x2 and so on xk, and here xi represents a tuple value, okay, that depends upon the given problem instance. Now here x1, x of 1, x of 2 and so on, x of k minus 1 of the solution vector, and here x of 1 to n have been already assigned, and x array is globally declared and even n is also globally declared. Now here n is the size of your x or size of your solution tuple. Now for each x of k which is belonging to, for each x of k which is belonging to this T of x1, x2 and so on x of k minus 1, then what I have to change here, there is a bounding function which is defined and which is Boolean type bounding function, and for suppose if bk of x1, x2 and so on xk minus 1 is resultant to which is equal to false, then we can confirm that here if this bounding function of this corresponding tuple is resultant to false, which means that here I could not have the solution. Here I could not have the solution, which means that here this path I should not take and I should take another path. So here is not equal to 0, then if x of 1, x of 2 and x of k is having a path to reach the answer node or solution node, here there is a path to reach from root node to the answer node. So in that case what I have to do, simply write the solution, which is x of 1 to k, which is nothing but x of 1 to k. If k is less than n, in that case what I am supposed to do is I need to change the path and I need to apply the bounding function again for the another path or another solution tuple. So here again for that I need to call the backtracking function again with k plus 1. Okay, so here if k is less than n, in that case I am supposed to call the same algorithm again with k plus 1 because I need to choose another path from root node to that corresponding node. This is about algorithm or control abstraction of backtracking. Now, as I said earlier, here we are going to depict the solution node or answer node with the help of state space tree, So here when I am dealing with state space tree, I'm using some terms regarding nodes, which are, there are three types of nodes basically. The three nodes are live node, E node and a dead node. Okay, now coming to live node. Live node means the node is generated and whose children have not generated. E-node. E-node or exploring or expanding node. So E-node means the node is generated and whose children are being generated. Whose children are being generated or whose children are being explored. Now coming to dead node. Dead node means the parent as well as the children all have been generated and there is no further exploration of nodes in the corresponding state space tree. So this is about the three types of nodes: live node, E-node and dead node. Live node means here the node is generated and whose children have not been generated. E-node. E-node means the node is generated and whose children are being explored. Dead node. Dead node means everything is generated and there is nothing to explore. And here the tree organization of the solution state space is referred to as. So now we have seen what is meant by what is the algorithm or control abstraction of backtracking, right? Now let's know the next thing, which is, as I said earlier, the solution we are going to depict with the help of state space tree. Now as I'm dealing with trees, here I'm using three different terms corresponding to nodes. There are three types of nodes basically, which are live node, E-node and dead node. Now live node. Live node means the node is generated and whose children have not generated. E-node. E-node or explored node or expanding node, which means that the node is generated and whose children are being explored or whose children are being expanding. Now dead node. Dead node means which are the nodes where the parent node as well as the children node both have been generated and there is nothing to explore further, which are called as dead nodes. And here tree organization of solution space is referred to as state space tree. The tree organization of solution space is referred to as state space tree, where I am using all these terminologies. Now coming to the summary. So today we have seen what is meant by backtracking, and also there are the control abstraction of backtracking, and also we have seen the applications of backtracking. One classical example is maze, and also we have mentioned you the application sum of subsets, n-queens, and even the M coloring problem and Hamiltonian cycle. Right? Thank you.